Welcome back to the EPN Trade channel. In our previous video, we discussed about how to identify trendline bounce using the trendline trading strategy. But in this video, we'll be diving more deeper as we discuss about how to trade the break and the retest of a trend line using the trendline trading strategy. So this is kind of a continuation of the trendline bounce video. So if you know you have not watched the video, make sure you do so after watching this video. The link will be in the description below. So moving forward, in order for you to trade the break and the retest of a trend line, you need an active trend line. Let's say for example, we have this downtrend currently and price creates a low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low, a lower high, a lower low. You understand? So we need an active trend line. That is, we just have an active trend line from point A to point B. You understand? Which is our trend line. You understand? So in order for you to trade it, there are two ways to approach this. They have the aggressive way of approaching it and they have the conservative way of approaching it. First of all, we'll deal with the aggressive way. So in order for you to approach this in an aggressive manner, what you need is, after price create this lower low to the downside and you identify an active trend line, so you need price to break this trend line first of all, and the second thing you need is for price to retest the trend line. You understand? Once price retests the trend line, then you look for a rejection, an entry confirmation which act as a rejection, like the entry confirmation, like a candlestick pattern or smaller time frame entry confirmation. Then you take price to the upside. And mind you, you must take note that once price break and retest a trend line, price is likely to go back to the point A and the point B from where the trend line started. So what I mean is that price is likely to go back to the point A and the point B of where the trend line started. So these are the region we use as our take profit region if we are trading this, buying this to the upside. So it's something like we just look for a rejection here, candlestick from confirmation, we enter our trade, put our stop loss. So we target either the point B or the point A of where the trend line started. We are currently on the GBP USD chart, like what we illustrate at the example. So what we do, we just look for an active trend line to the downside. So as you can see, we have this active trend line to the downside. So as you can see, this is the point A and this is the point B, because these are the 2 points across the trend line. So we have an active trend line. What do we wait for? Wait for price to break the trend line. What the price do at this point? Price broke the trend line here and price retests back to the trend line. So given this confirmation of this engulfing candle, what do we do now? We take trade, put our position, and where are we targeting? We are targeting the point B and the point A of where the trend line started from. So our first profit target will be at the point B, which is this point, something like this. Let me use the horizontal array. First profit target, which is the point B. Second profit target will be the point A. So first profit target, we are targeting our point B, and second profit target, we are targeting our point A. So this is how you trade the break and the retest of a trend line in an aggressive manner. So the second way to trade it is the conservative approach. Let's say something like this. First of all, we need an active trend. Let's say price create this low, create this lower high, create a lower low, create this lower high, create this lower low, create this lower high, then create this lower low. So we need an active trend. Let's say this is our active trend, you understand, to the downside. First of all, wait for price to break this trend line. Once price break this trend line, you understand, you wait for price also to break the last high, you understand, before the break of the trend line. So we wait for price to break this trend line, then break the last high before the break of this trend line. We identify it as a key level. That is true. So we draw something like a rectangular box here, you understand, identify it as a key level, and anticipate price was to retest back into this key level, you understand, and look for our kind of rejection, candlestick confirmation or smaller time frame entry, then take price to the upside, which is the point A and the point B of where the trend line started. So looking at this, let's see an example in the chart. Looking at this chart, GBP USD, so first thing we need to identify first is an active trend line to the downside. So we click on this, click on the trend line. So we have something like this, an active trend line to the downside. identifying our point A and our point B, you understand, then extend it, you understand. So after extending it, the second thing we need to do is that we need to wait for price to break this trend line. So once price break this trend line, then also break the last eye of the trend line. So we need to identify the last eye of the trend line. So the last eye of the trend line is this eye here. You make it a rectangular box, something like this, then because it's like a key level for us, it's like a key level for us, so we make it a rectangular box. So what price do here? Price broke the last eye of the trend line, then you wait for a retest back to that zone because it's like a zone. On seeing some rejection, what do? You just click and look for your long tool, then you place your trade, you understand, your stop loss or the stop loss zone. So the first take profit is going to be the point B of the trend line, and the last take profit is going to be the point A of the trend line. So point B of the trend line is this point here. The point A of the trend line is this point over here. So point B of the trend line, the first take profit. Y point A of the trend line, your last take profit. So this is how your trade is going to be when trading with the conservative approach of a trend line. So for the bearish example, for an aggressive approach, first of all, we need an active trend line to the upside. So what we do is we just look for an active trend line. This is an high, an higher low, an higher high, an higher low, an higher high, an higher low, an higher high. So we have an active trend line, you understand, to the upside. So what do we do now? We first of all we wait for price to break this trend line, you understand, then retest back this trend line, then we look for our confirmation here at the retest of the trend line. We enter our trade at the rejection of it, then we take price to our take profit region. And when we are selecting our take profit region, the first take profit will be at the point B of the trend line, while the second take profit will be at the point A of the trend line. So let's quickly see an example in the chart. So this is USD JPY on the daily time frame. Let's look for an example. First of all, as we all know, the first thing we need is an active trend line to the upside. So let's see if we can see an active trend line. So we click on here, we click on our trend line, we get our point A here and our point B here, then we extend it to the upside, you understand. Once you add this active trend line to the upside, what do you do next? You understand, you allow price to break what? This trend line. Look at where price broke the trend line over at this point. So once price broke this trend over at this point, you wait for the retest of that trend line, then you wait for a candlestick confirmation or a lower time frame confirmation, you understand. So looking at this now, you discover that there is a retest and a candlestick confirmation at this trend line. What are you doing? You click on this, then you click on your short tool on the rejection of the candlestick confirmation. So you place your stop loss at the stop loss zone, and then what are you doing? You target your take profit, which is the point B or the point A of where the trend line is. So this is the point B of the trend line, and this is the point A of the trend line. So the first profit target will be at the point B of the trend line, while second profit target will be at the point A of the trend line. So what the price do at this point? Price get to the first profit target, then also get to the second profit target. So this is how you trade the aggressive approach using the break and the retest of a trend line on a downtrend. Going for the conservative approach, first of all, what you need is an active trend to the upside, something like this. Maybe you have an high, an higher low, an higher high, an higher low, an higher high, an higher low, and an higher high. So we have an active trend line to the upside, you understand. So the first thing we need to do is wait for price to break this trend line. Once price broke this trend line, price needs to also break the last low, understand, in the trend line. So break the trend line, break the last low in the trend line. So the next thing you do is to draw a rectangular box around the last low at the trend line region, you understand, as a potential key level, you understand, for price to come back and retest. So after that, just wait for price to retest back to it, and you wait for your confirmation, like a candlestick confirmation. You take your trade to the downside, targeting your take profit region, which is the point B, which is the first take profit region, at the point A, which is the last take profit region. So looking at this GBP USD chart, you understand the 4-hour time frame as an example. So the first thing we need to identify is what? An active trend line to the upside. So we click on this, we click on the trend line, we have this active trend line, point A and point B, you understand? Then we extend it to the upside. So we have this active trend line to the upside. The next thing we need to do, we need price what? To break this trend line as well as break the last low, you understand, of the trend line. So we identify the trend line and the last low of the trend line, so we need price to break this. So after identifying it, we draw a rectangular box around it, you understand, to make it what? A zone. So once price breaks the trend line as well as break the last low at this particular point, you wait for a retest backwards to the zone, which is this zone. Then you take your trade what? To the point B and the point A of where the trend line started. So something like you click on this, you understand, then you identify your shorts too. After confirming your candlestick formation, you place your stop loss, then you take your trade what? To the point B. This is the point B of where the trend line started, as you can see, and what? The point A. Your first take profit will be at the point B, and your second take profit will be at the point A of where the trend line started. So always remember that the break and the retest of the trend line has two approaches. It has the conservative approach and it also has the aggressive approach. You have to backtest it, you understand, and know which one works for you. So if you know you find value in this video, make sure you do the right thing by smashing the like button, and if you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section, and make sure you also subscribe to the YouTube channel. So when next we drop valuable video like this, you'll be the first to be notified, so you can come over here to gain more value. Till we meet again in our next video. Peace.